Man, got some rest. I'm enjoying this. About to go back out, hit the streets in a safe, productive way. And I don't mean like getting in trouble and all this kind of stuff. And I don't mean, doing something I don't have no business doing. I am a law abiding citizen. I really am. So I really am. Like I said, the past couple of days have been very interesting, in particularly with the whole John Morant dynamic and people's opinion and how people are trying to minimize, maximize, and dissect this whole dynamic with John Morant and the whole discussion. How everybody is trying to have a different angle. But like I said, I just see a lot of hypocrisy. At the end of the day, so Charles Barkley calls himself calling out the people that's defending John Morant. Listen, I'm not defending John Morant's actions. I've said that on several occasions. I'm defending his Second Amendment rights. And I don't care about how, well, he was holding the gun and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Hey, Mark, I just want you to say something, and I know that you're a white guy, and I appreciate it. Like, my thing is, with me, I just call it right down the middle. I'm not saying that all white people are bad, but I'm just calling out the bad white people. So I just got to make it very clear. And Mark is a guy that's been supporting my channel for, well, pretty much for a while. And like I said, my heart is in a good place. And at the end of the day, I have to protect my black brothers from these double standards. I've said this on several occasions. Now, I don't like some of the stuff that John Morant is presenting, but I do have to call out the hypocrisy with everybody just basically wanting a piece of the action. We're sitting up here celebrating so-called game bangers and stuff, calling out John Morant and saying he need to quit acting tough. My thing is, what's acting tough? For real. And see, that's the problem, is the labeling. I don't like the idea of a white dude that don't look like me, that don't have nothing to do with urban youth and urban and growing up urban, trying to lecture a black man, because basically they're going by what they're hearing from other black men. So like dudes like Ryan Kennel, they need to shut the hell up. Ryan Kennel is a racist. He's one of them dudes that try to dismiss anything and try to dismiss any double standard. And like I said, why don't Charles Barkley say JJ Riddick's name? JJ Riddick was spot on what he said. And once again, you could sit up there and talk about, well, this how he was holding the gun and all this kind of stuff. And JJ Riddick came with facts. Apparently he did this in Tennessee. Tennessee, once again, is a open carry state. I'm going to say this once again. I'm coming with what they came up with. I'm going by what the authorities came up with. Once again, he's supposed to have been in Colorado when the first video of him showing the gun popped up. Colorado authorities said he did nothing wrong. Social media, Elon Musk, Instagram said he did nothing wrong. So why is, once again, everybody piling on this dude? All these rappers like Lil Wayne and Fat Joe that sit up here trying to lecture and wag their finger at John Morant, who constantly made music about how they sell drugs and how they take people's lives, who celebrate that kind of stuff. They are the biggest hypocrites out there. Lil Wayne is a dude that sat up there who shot himself. Lil Wayne shot himself. So why is he shocked? This is a dude that sit up here and promote gang banging, talking about he a blood, who, by the way, made himself a blood. So how is he gonna sit up there and say, well, he wonder why John Morant is doing this because of you? So for the people that's saying I'm giving John Morant a pass, The people that I'm calling out and holding accountable look like me, who were making the music. I'm calling out everybody, the industry, who was promoting this stuff. I guess you could say we're all tied in this together. From the artists to the record labels who were pushing this kind of stuff on our youth, who were making this out to be cool. So now all of a sudden people are puzzled why John Moran is conducting himself the way he's doing. It's our own community who made it look like going to school, getting an education isn't cool. We just had people sitting up here putting down blue-collar workers. We just had Ebony K. Williams, a black woman, making it look like, hey, being a blue-collar worker ain't cool. You need to, at least have $1 million in your bank account by the time you meet her. Well, that's highly unlikely. We sit up here and put down normalcy. So for all you white people that's sitting up here trying to talk a bunch of shit about John Moran, you could just shut the hell up. Because you played a pivotal role in this stuff. You just as much as responsible for this as people in my community. So big and bad Charles Barkley got something to say. You should have said JJ Riddick's name. Say his name, Charles. Because like I said, you saying you so pissed. You so pissed. Why ain't you so pissed at Brent Favre, who basically stole from the community that you came from? Since you got so much smoke. Once again, Charles Barkley, for people that sit up here and use Charles Barkley as as some kind of role model, I'm gonna tell you something. This is just real talk. A lot of the shit that Charles Barkley did when he was playing in the NBA, see, they didn't have all this social media and they didn't have all these camera phones and stuff like they have now. I can tell you right now, had Charles Barkley got caught on camera doing some of the stuff that he wants to call himself wagging his finger at John Moran for, Charles Barkley's black ass would have probably been in jail, or probably would have been out of the league, or people would have been calling for him. So for y'all to sit up here and for you white supremacists to tell us to listen to Charles Barkley don't even like y'all. To be honest with y'all, he just like y'all women, and that's just real talk. So for all you white people that want to rally around Charles Barkley, he don't like y'all. He just like y'all women. How many times did Charles Barkley say something stupid? So you want to use Charles Barkley as the voice of reason? You white people, you want to try to say that black people need to follow Charles Barkley? Charles Barkley don't even like y'all. Quiet as kept. Man, what's up, man? I'm sick of these hypocrites, man. I'm sick of these hypocrites out here, man. I'm sick of these hypocrites, man. All these content creators and stuff. Like, I'm sick of this stuff. And John Moran, once again, he didn't technically do anything wrong. And stop trying to play these games about, well, we don't have no issue with responsible gun owners and all this kind of stuff. You guys want to sit up here and try to have it both ways. Like all of a sudden you fake white dudes, you want to try to act all cool and stuff and try to act like you down, but then at the same time you want to try to criticize somebody. You want to try to speak on stuff that you have nothing to do with or know nothing about. I've said this on several occasions. I don't like how Ja is moving. But like I said before, he is a product of the environment. And the environment isn't necessarily where you come from, it's what and how you're presented. So the NBA can't sit up here and talk all this stuff about John Morant and have an issue with him. And like I said, they promote this type of behavior. And listen, I'm not knocking nobody that came from the streets. I'm not knocking nobody if you got it from the mud. But at the same time, you look at what's on TV and how we present it. How many stories do you see on TV where black people is presented as fatherless? How many times you see on TV where if a black man is in some kind of in the picture, he's presented as some kind of drug dealer, some kind of loser, and then to a certain degree that's celebrated. Even in our own community, let's just keep it a buck. The black pimp, the black drug dealer has always been celebrated as being some kind of role model. How many times did you see on TV where the black man was educated, where he was a lawyer, where he was a doctor? And that's one of the reasons why Bill Cosby, like him or not, I give him credit for that. But they said it was unrealistic for a black family to be like the Huxtables. But at the end of the day, you don't just see this on TV, you see this in real life. How many times you see women on TV, social media, doing interviews where they say, hey, well, I really don't like, regular guys. I like dudes that's from the streets. I like dudes that have. Wasn't we just having this debate a few months ago about Michael B. Jordan, the very same debate about what's looked upon as being cool and celebrated in our community, where you had women saying, hey, Michael B. Jordan, he was corny in high school because, he wanted to be an actor. Why is success in our community measured by what you do that, isn't lawful? We sit up here and we celebrate gang banging. We celebrate drug dealing. We celebrate pimping among black men. Black men is looked at as role models who do that. We have to change the landscape. So that's why I'm not paying attention to none of these white motherfuckers that's sitting up here having an issue with John Morant, or none of these hypocritical content creators. Like I said before, I laughed at Kwame Brown. I laughed at Steven Jackson. Isn't Steven Jackson the same nigga that was just talking about last year how he went to O Block and how he was checking in and all that kind of stuff? But now all of a sudden you surprised? Maybe John Morant saw you doing that. So how, and then the same thing with Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown is a dude that filmed himself pulling up on somebody that was talking about him on social media and insinuating that he had a weapon. I'm too real for some of these people on here. I'm too real. I'm too real from these people out here, because I understand it. I understand it. And like I said, most of us with common sense, we're not saying that we're happy about what's going on with John Morant. But the way this man has been criminalized and demonized over the past few days, hell yeah, I got a problem with that. I sure in the hell do got a problem with that when I'm looking up every damn time I hear about some white boy or some non-black going into a store, a supermarket, a movie theater, a school, and killing and harming innocent little kids who's actually taking lives. But then all of a sudden, they're getting sympathy from the mainstream media. Oh, what led to him doing this? But you got people sitting up here tearing down John Morant. Is he using bad judgment? Absolutely. But is he breaking the law? No, he isn't. It is not illegal to show a gun. It is not against social media policies to show a weapon. Once again, if you have a firearm that you legally purchased, you bought it, you bought it legally, you can carry it. See, Charles Barkley want to be on this thing where he just want to have a reason to criticize. JJ Riddick told the absolute truth. And once again, the NBA can't have it both ways. You can't try to present yourself as being family friendly and wholesome, but at the same time, you have all these different type of performers coming to perform at events who talk about certain content. And then you want to sit up here and tell your athletes that they need to be role models and that you want to make them the face of the league, but then at the same time, you're bringing certain type of people to perform. So once again, if you want to play the wholesome act, then you got to go all in. If you worried about the image, you can't sit up here and take certain type of advertising money and certain type of sponsorship. You can't sit up there and advertise and say, hey, go see John Wick, a movie about a hit. First of all, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Let's have a real conversation about John Wick. Once again, the NBA want to play this role, and then all these people on social media want to play this role about you know, image. Even though I love the John Wick movies, but let's keep it a buck. John Wick is a merciless, murderous hitman. And don't give me that stuff that is just a movie. What happened to that all money ain't good money stuff? So once again, the NBA can't have it. They can't have it both ways. You can't sit up there and say you worried about the image of the NBA and these athletes need to protect the shield, but then you taking it all in any kind of money. Is it illegal to go see a movie like John Wick? No, but once again, if you want to take a moral stance or have a moral compass, you got to say, well, you know what? We have a lot of kids that come to NBA games. We don't think it would be good for our image to basically advertise a movie like that just promotes merciless killing. Now, I dare somebody to come on here and try to tell me that I'm wrong and I'm not speaking some truth and I'm not speaking facts. See, they would try to silence me because I'm telling the truth. They'll try to cut me off. They wouldn't let me talk. But see, I'm on my own outlet where I basically can say what the hell I want to say. So you can't, I'm just saying this about the NBA. They're hypocrites. You done had Cardi B. And then, like I said, you sitting up saying you worried about John Morant ended up in prison. Well, at the same time, once again, there are some of these rappers that do live that life. But all I'm saying is, can't have it both ways. It's either one or the other. But once again, we were told, this is us. And people got to understand, even when NWA came out, one thing, this is why I missed the golden era of hip hop, the 90s. Because we had variety. But then as hip hop went on, the music industry saw that they can make a lot of money doing this, promoting this type of music. You see, they started to fade out the acts like Gang Starr, the Pete Rocks and the CL Smooth, the Heavy D, the Rakims. And the only reason there was a slight few that they kept. I ain't gonna say, I'll just say they kept them within the compounds of the music radar. But most of the time, they pushed all these guys like Lil Wayne and those dudes to the front. So at the end of the day, you can't sit up there and talk about John Morant's actions when, like I said, this stuff is promoted and celebrated in our community. I'm too real for you guys. I'm too real. I'm too real. That's what I'm saying. But Steven Jackson just last year was the very same dude talked about, hey, I went to O Block. But he want to keep this image. And how many times have you seen, like I said before, people keep talking about, well, John Morant never lived that life. But I say once again, this is what is promoted to us. This is what we tell people. Like I said, how many content creators you see on YouTube that got channels that celebrate how they've been in and out of prison? That celebrate how they got ties to Crips and Bloods. How many channels have you seen where you had people, even I had to get out of that, where you had dudes always talking about how they want to do something to somebody? And this is what I'm saying. These same niggas that sitting up here talking all this stuff about John Morant, they don't talk this about these white boys or these non-blacks. One thing about me, I ether everybody. I don't see color when it comes to ethering people. And that's why a lot of people respect what I do. Just like yesterday when that hillbilly, when that 3-teeth hillbilly tried it with that black lady. Because I was sitting up listening and it got to me. It dawned on me. Because too many times I was hearing these stigmas. Black men only want to fight amongst each other. Black men don't defend their own women. I guarantee you that that 3-teeth hillbilly, I know he probably cried on the airplane because he thought he could walk up to that black woman. I know he probably somewhere calling me all kind of N-words, but you didn't say it to my face, because if you would have, you would have got hurt really bad. See, that's the difference between me and these other people. Like I said, Charles Barkley only got smoke for black people. This nigga ain't said a damn thing about Brent Favre. Charles Barkley loves to call himself laying down the law with black dudes. And that's why I don't respect that dude, because he a paid handkerchief head. You should have that same energy for dudes like Brent Favre. You should have had that same energy for all those white MMA fighters that was beating up their wives and all that kind of stuff. Have that same energy when these white boys get in trouble. Make sure you come down with the thunder, but then everybody gets timid. So like I said, Charles Barkley, he talking tough, but why didn't he say JJ Riddick's name? Because it still goes in the back of his mind, well, I'll insinuate who I'm talking about, but I ain't gonna say his name. So say his name, Charles. Directly say JJ Riddick. Like I said, you don't get no credit, man, for talking about Skip Bayless, because nobody likes Skip Bayless. This is the same Charles Barkley that basically defended Drew Brees when he said that racist stuff. He told us to calm down. Oh man, the criticism he getting is just overkill. Well, the criticism John Morant is getting is overkill too. Because once again, John Morant ain't took nobody's lives. So you need to have that same compassion. You need to have that same compassion. I'm going to say this once again. This is for the dummies. This is for the dummies. I don't think it's wise for Ja Morant to be showing guns on social media, but at the same time, he ain't breaking the law. See, that's the thing. People want to talk about morals versus the law. Because I guarantee you, if that was a white boy that did that, I bet you if that was Josh Allen that did that. Now, keep in mind, Mr. Josh Allen, Mr. who said the N-word on social media. And don't give me this stuff about that was a long time ago. How come when it comes to these white boys, to these non-blacks, oh, this stuff happened a long time ago, we need to move on. But when it comes to us, it's no, you know what I'm saying? It's no statute of limitations. People can bring up something that happened, like with a dude that's 35, what happened to them when it's 10. It's no statute of limitation when it comes to bringing up a black person past. People still talking about that stuff with Chris Brown and Rihanna to this day. And that was over 10 years ago. But we bring up those racist songs that Eminem made. And we bring up that racist stuff that Mark Wahlberg did. Oh, all of a sudden, we can't talk about that. Oh, that was a long time ago. We need to move on. Like I said, dudes like Charles Barkley, Steven Jackson, Kwame Brown, they need to shut the hell up. Kwame Brown is on camera threatening black people's lives. But he's sitting up here trying to lecture Ja Morant. I'm very calculated in what I say. And I'm gonna tell you something, you guys, and this is real talk. A lot of people, like I said before, I'm gonna tell the absolute truth. A lot of people are mad at me. People are mad at me behind a lot of different things. Some people are not talking to me because I have a different opinion of this Ja Morant thing. Because they want me to be this dude that sit up here and wagging they finger at this dude. I told you I'm not finna play internet Joe Clark. I'm not finna sit up here and play internet Joe Clark or trying to play Heathcliff Huxtable or trying to play Ward Cleaver. None of you niggas is in the position to sit up here and try to talk that talk. Y'all can't lecture Ja Morant about nothing. And then you got Shannon Sharp sitting up here trying to celebrate some old Crip nigga who sat up there and say, oh, well, he shouldn't be doing what he doing. But at the same time, well, if he want to claim Crip, he gonna have to pay. So you basically saying, well, if he spent one day with us, you know, he'll see things different. No, you'll just try to extort money out of him. But then you got Shannon Sharp and Keyshawn Johnson, who's supposed to be sitting up here telling Ja Morant the correct way to go about something. They sitting up here celebrating some game banger, so-called rapper or whatever the hell he's supposed to be, sitting up there insinuating that Ja Morant need to pay the Crips money. And first of all, this nigga don't have no ownership of the word Crip or Rolling 60s. So who is he to say somebody got to pay him? So that was sort of like hypocritical of Keyshawn Johnson. But that just goes to show you what an idiot that Shannon Sharp is. Another fake nigga. You should have had that same compassion. You should have demanded that Fox Sports make you talk about Jerry Jones participating in a Jim Crow rally. But once again, it's a statute of limitations on stuff that white people do. But you know what I'm saying? Our past is no statute of limitation. Well, that's what I'm saying. How many times have you heard black people putting down other black people for growing up in a two-parent household? At the end of the day, people want to celebrate that stuff. They want to celebrate black women being the head of our households. And I'm just gonna say this to black women: I don't mean no harm by this, but y'all part of the problem too. Not all of y'all, but y'all play a big role in this too. Where y'all try to sit up here and try to act like y'all better men and better fathers than we are. And a lot of times y'all don't want us around. But once again, this is a stigma that the media puts out. A lot of times they don't want to. A lot of times with these athletes, even if the father's around, they will make it look like the father is inactive. You hear these athletes say, yeah, you know, my mom and my dad and all this kind of stuff. They'll just show the mother, but they won't show the father. They'll even make it look like the father isn't around. And they specifically do that to black athletes. So like I said, if we're going to have a real conversation about Ja Morant, let's have a real fucking conversation. Let's talk about this circle of poison that they are presenting and how they've labeled us. Like I said, I'm coming for everybody. I'm coming for everybody. I'm calling everybody out. Like I said, that's why I'm different from all these other content creators. I'm not doing this to get views. I'm speaking from the heart. I am concerned about Ja Morant's well-being, but I'm not going to sit up here and constantly just pile on this dude. I'm not finna treat this young 23-year-old black man like he's some kind of terrorist. And Ja Morant over the past few days have been treated like he is some damn terrorist. He's been treated better than Timothy McVeigh. I mean, he's been treated worse than Timothy McVeigh, Dylan Roof, that white boy that shot up that middle school in Florida, that Hispanic man that shot up a school in Texas, that other Hispanic man that went on the shooting spree because people told him to stop shooting his gun in public. But they have sympathy for them. But Ja Morant's name been ran through the mud. Like I said, you would swear that Ja Morant then went on a murderous killing spree. So what? He showed a damn gun on social media. And now all of a sudden, everybody. But I got some more. Like I said, it's always been different. White dude have a gun, it's Second Amendment rights. Black man have a gun, he a thug. And that's what I'm trying to do on here. I'm using the same talking points that white people love to defend when you hear about all these mass shootings. So, Second Amendment rights. You hear these country bumpkins. Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms. This is our constitutional right to bear arms. But then Ja Morant, this thug, this thief, the kids. I remember a few years ago, I cannot remember this rapper's name. And like I said, some of the racism that's exercised on black people or by black people themselves. I seen this horrible story about this black lady who was a nail technician, who, when she tried to do black people's nails, she was getting ridiculed. People didn't want her to do their nails because they didn't think she would do a good enough job. And then when she would work on their nails, they'll just find something wrong. So like I say, some of the racism that's exercised and basically directed towards black men and black women are by black people themselves. I don't want to hear this stuff about, well, Ja Morant should go hire security. He don't have to hire security. It's his money. Everybody don't. It's sometimes, to be honest with you, you make it worse on yourself when you be sitting around, walking around with 8, 9 different people. Now, like I said, Ja Morant is only like 6'3", so it's not out of the norm to see a 6'3" dude walking around in public. Now, when he have those, unfortunately, when he put dye and stuff in his dreads and stuff, then people will look at him. So like I said before, we gotta stop playing these games, man. Stop playing these damn games. Don't worry, man. I'll get to that, but I gotta put this work in, man. Don't worry. I gotta put this work in. I will get to that. I gotta put this work in. Because I needed to get this off my chest. I've been very irritated the past couple of days, like I said, with this stuff with Ja Morant. I want every black man and woman from this day to learn the perspective, gun laws and rights in your state. Learn what, and I mean learn it to the T. I know me being in California, like I said, if Ja Morant had been in California and did what he did and basically like showed a gun in the air, we might have a problem. Because unfortunately in California, you're not allowed to carry a loaded weapon in your car. Unfortunately, the clip has to be separated from the gun, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Makes no sense. Basically, they're making you a sitting duck out here. You pretty much a sitting duck out here. Basically, if you happen to have a loaded gun and something jump off and you have to defend yourself, you still going to jail. Because I'm still waiting for somebody to try to explain to me, if somebody starts busting at me, how in the hell am I supposed to grab this gun and try to get out the car, get to the trunk, open up the trunk, and try to get the clip, put the clip in the gun, and try to return fire. By the time I do all that, this dude or woman or whatever they going by, whatever their identity, whatever their identity is, they would have dumped like 6, 7, 8, 9 shells in me. So once again, it makes absolutely no sense. Well, Mark, I want you guys to understand this. And, Vegas Mark used to be in California. Like I said, this is why I've been saying that I want to move out of California. I'm a sitting duck. They basically have told me that I have the right to basically just sit up there and be deleted. Like I said, we could have real conversations about this kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm going to say this once again. I am not okay with some of Ja Morant's actions. No, he shouldn't be sitting up there throwing up Crips. But at the same time, once again, this is what they celebrate. Go listen to the radio. Go listen to your local R&B station and see what they have playing on the radio. If they ain't talking about sex and violence and all that kind of stuff, they talk about some other stuff that's not what you would call, educational. Like I said, this shit was did on purpose too. But anyway, I just wanted to put this out there. Charles Barkley is a mark. He a hypocrite and he a coward. Say JJ Riddick's name, Charles. Say his name. Say his name since you so big and bad. That's all I'm saying. I don't like the fact that Ja Morant is being treated like he's some kind of domestic terrorist. Because like I said, every time I hear about one of these white boys or these non-blacks shooting up a mall or all this stuff, they'll say, what led to this? Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand. He had friends and all this kind of... But then, and then here's the thing. Even when you hear about black people being the victims, just like when those black people got shot up in Mexico by the cartel. Well, those dudes had priors. They had priors. It's always about what somebody did. They always try to say somebody, hey, they said Jordan Neely deserved to die. They saying that George Floyd deserved to die. They said Eric Gardner deserved to get what he got. They said Mike Brown. They say Trayvon Martin. They always try to justify something happening to us. But even when the perpetrator does something heinous, they try to rationalize it. What led to what happened at the mall? Well, I knew him. He always seemed to be a cool person, an even-toned person. I don't know how this happened. But like I said with the black person, well, he's had this many encounters with the police, when he was 5 years old, come on, man. When he was 5 years old, man, he took a girl's ice cream from her and he ate it. And this stuff, this was bound to happen. This is who he is. Tell me I'm not lying. Tell me I'm not lying. Tell me I'm not lying. Well, appreciate it, Vegas, Mark. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man. Be back with more. More boxing, more NBA. Had to get this off my chest. But I had to call that coon, that hypocrite, Charles Barkley out.